Going on, everyone? Connor on Shane, bringing you guys another video. I'm going to be talking about 4 or 5 of the top RWA real world asset projects, in my personal opinion, going into the bull run here. So let's just dive into it real quick right here. So, like I said, there might be 4, there might be 5, but again, be wary that the ETF is literally supposed to be coming tomorrow, whether it's approved or denied. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but just be wary that if I'm talking about these projects, especially within the next 24 hours, there could be huge movements to the downside, like continued downside. As you can see, a lot of stuff has been down very heavily across pretty much every narrative right now. But it could continue to the downside heavily, and it also, for some reason or somehow, it could really pump to Valhalla. So just understand that. Just keep these on your radar. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research on these coins, on these projects here. But like I said, let's get into it. So RWAs, like I said, like I talk about a lot on the channel, this is still one of the biggest narratives, in my opinion, because a lot of new money that's going to be flowing into crypto this cycle is going to be some institutions, and whether it's larger businesses looking to jump into crypto in a more safe way, this is going to be the go-to narrative for these institutions, these businesses, less so than like retailers or retail investors, people like that. So I'm going to start off with number 1 here. This is going to be IX swap. The ticker's IXS. This one on the channel, I talked about this down all the way at like 2 cents, and it's up. It's done over a 10x since I've talked about it. Market cap just keeps climbing. This was in between like 2 to 3 million, and it just continues to keep going. It's crazy. This one specifically, I'm waiting for a heavy pullback as well, as another coin that I'm going to get into in a minute. But IXSwap, what they're trying to be is they want to be a go-to, basically a DEX for RWA projects and like tokenized, I guess, assets and stuff like that. They have a lot going for them. They have a lot of partnerships. But I think sitting at 60 million, I think this is actually going to be one of the top performers for this bull run. I have zero doubt in my mind. Like, I think if this can really drop even 40, 50, 60% from current levels, this, in my opinion, might be one of the most low risk and still with very high reward RWA projects in the space, in the sector. And like I said, this one's been on my radar for months, and it just continues to keep going. I think this is going to be a go-to RWA coin for me. Yeah, let me see too. Yeah, FTV also looks really good. Like, I'm not gonna get too in depth with these. Like, I'm just trying to get these on your radar, because like I said, depending on what the ETF is gonna do, if everything starts to dump, like, heavy corrections are coming across the board in every single narrative, every chain, everything's gonna be dropping like crazy. But there is also obviously the chance that institutions start sweeping into Bitcoin right now, pumping everything to crazy levels. But in my opinion, I still believe this is going to be a sell the news sort of event, because also now I think a lot of institutions, now that it's going to be active, that they can actually buy Bitcoin like that, I think a lot of them are going to wait for a better entry. I don't think a lot of people want to just FOMO in. Especially more experienced and seasoned investors, I feel like just because something comes on the market, in the short term, they're always looking to get a better entry than the next person. Just I've seen it from experience, and I firmly believe that there's going to be some sort of short-term correction, whether it is a correction for, a few weeks or even like a couple months. I do see some sort of sideways and correction coming. And that's just, that's been my gut feeling. That's been my thesis for a while. But anyways, let's just keep going. Just want to throw that, risk in there for you guys. Continued downside could be very imminent in the next literal 24 hours or more. So just understand that if you're looking at these projects. So IXS is number 1. So Revest Finance is another one as well. They're aiming to do a lot of tokenization. With Revest, they got a lot of strong partnerships as well. And just based off technicals, like this one has had a huge run, and it's on a big correction. I'm actually trying to see how big. Looks like it's maybe 40-ish percent. 47 to 24. Maybe a little more. Maybe like 48 to 50%. I actually can see this coming back down, maybe lower than 20 cents. I think if it hits around 20 cents, it's going to be just a beautiful DCA. Even at levels right now, guys, I think could be very solid. But again, just be wary of the potential downside coming early this year. But Revest, like I said, is a top pick of mine. I think this one's going to perform insanely well. And I think the RWA narrative itself easily has a nice 10 to 20x just across the board for all these projects to do. And there's going to be so many great projects too that I don't cover. So obviously if it doesn't make this list, like these are just my own projects I've done my own research on that I firmly believe in. So Revest was the number 2. That's going to be my number 2 pick for the bull run here. So let's see if number 3 is in here. There it is. Yep. Soil, guys. Soil, I've talked about Soil on the channel as well. Literally from launch, I've been watching this one. I talked about it. I tried to get everyone in anywhere in this range from 20 cents all the way down to like 10. Well, it didn't go to 10, but 11, 12, 13, 14. In this little bottom range was the golden zone to get in here. And that was in October. So from there, it's already up at least a 4 or 5x, which, I think that's great. We got in under 100K, yeah. Under 1 million in market cap, which has been, pretty solid. But again, this is a very long-term hold, and market cap FTV is tiny, which that's like a red flag of mine. But at the same point, everything about Soil itself is super strong. Like tokenomics, even to me, look very good for what they are, even though the FTV is tiny like this. But with Soil, what they're doing is they're trying to provide, really safe, stable returns on, stable coins. And the reason why I feel like this is huge is because especially newer investors and newer institutions coming into the space, we've all seen what Celsius did, BlockFi, all those. That's been a huge issue is, just having all these stablecoin issuers or, these platforms that offer very high yields just fall through because it's like they're not backed by anything. But what Soil is aiming to do is provide like these stable coins to actually be backed by real world assets, by a bunch of different things across the board. And I think it's a great concept. And especially when people start to cash out into stables, a lot of people are going to want that return, especially if that can, hold throughout the rest of the bull run. And obviously, I don't expect much from the top of the bull run going to the downside. I don't know what to expect as far as yield like that. But I think from now going through this whole bull run, yield is going to be very good. Not even just Soil, just projects across the board. The more money that flows in, the more yield that any of these projects can return. Something just to be skeptical of is, right, when the bull run, you can just tell it's over, like mid 2025, end of 2025, everything is going to be more than likely continuing to just drop, going to the downside. So just make sure you guys are watching for that in 2025 towards the end, because there's going to be no more dips. It's just going to start crashing, continuing down. And this is when yield for a lot of projects will just completely go to zero. They'll just stop because there's not much money flowing in anymore. And it's just not going to be sustainable, bottom line. But I don't know what to expect for Soil. Actually, we'll give it a rocket because I really think this is a top RWA project too. So that's number 3. Soil is, it's been on my radar, like I said, since it launched. So what is another one? There is one more here. I think I missed it. No. Oh, so this is another one too. I haven't really talked about this one too much. Clearpool is pretty interesting though. So we're gonna check the website out for Clearpool too. But this one has a lot of upside in my opinion, just throughout this bull run. Yes, though. Sorry, I'm just looking into this too. I like reading about just everything here. Clearpool, decentralized finance ecosystem, the first ever permissionless marketplace for unsecured institutional liquidity. Yeah, Clearpool itself, like I said, they got a lot going for them too. I'm not gonna, dive heavily into it right now. But Clearpool itself, this is gonna be a pretty good project too. Social sentiment for this coin too is very strong. And I'm pretty sure it's been on some sort of correction for a while. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see more downside here. But yeah, this one looks like it's going to be fairly strong. And again, please do your own research. Just check these coins out yourself. And yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Another one too that I really like, that is very interesting, is actually LANDEX. So this is like a newer project. The chart is absolutely beautiful. If you guys have ever seen this or have checked this one out, but what LANDEX is trying to do is they want to offer, I guess, just yield and returns on farmland and commodities like corn and different stuff like that. Oh yeah, I can't even access the website right now, but this is a first mover in my opinion for, I guess, kind of a new sub narrative for tokenizing commodities and stuff like that. I think it's really interesting, but price, like I said, is at a close to a literal bottom. I think the bottom was days ago, maybe less than a week ago. So I'm pretty sure it's found its bottom, but LANDEX, like I said, first mover, this one is going to be probably a very strong player. They got interviews and stuff. You can check them out on YouTube, people talking to the founder, like what they actually do. And I want you can check that out on YouTube. Just type in LANDEX. It's really interesting concept of how they do everything, but LANDEX is a top one in my opinion too. But this one's way more high risk because, like I said, it's very ambitious for what they're going for. And I'd really like to see, like, a lot of work on their end, just showing like them actually doing this, being a lot more transparent. But bottom line, they just launched pretty recently. Their chart went up, it's come down, sitting in a bottom. This is like the golden entry zone that I talk about. You could buy any coin that has some sort of hype, as long as the chart looks like literally like LANDEX's chart. I'm telling you guys, that's going to be the best entry you could get for a project. And again, the ETF could be dropping these projects even more. So just be wary, be cautious, because this did hit 75 cents. It's sitting at 104 now. This could come right back down to 70, 80 cents and, continue to, slowly trend to the downside. If the ETF doesn't get approved, or, if heavy sell pressure hits over the next few weeks to a month. So just be wary of that and understand the risk. Do your own research. And that's what I wanted to bring up for you guys today. Just, a bunch of these RWA projects, you really could invest in a lot of these guys that I think a lot of them are going to perform very well, in my opinion. Polymesh is a great one. Alliance Block 2 is great. Obviously, this one's the GOAT, IXS. A bunch of real estate ones too. And then also Token. That's an interesting one. That one's pretty strong as well. But yeah, you guys can check this stuff out. And I want everyone to win here. So that's what I got for you guys today. I'll be dropping some more videos on some more coins over obviously the next few days to about a week or two. But mainly want to focus on this ETF because I've been hesitant to do a lot of things. Mainly because I don't know what price is going to do for Bitcoin. And obviously Bitcoin is the telltale sign of where this whole market's going to be going over the next month to 3 months. And like I said, my bias is still to the downside in the short term, but that doesn't include, when the halving really hits in April or May. Once once the halving is really priced in, and I don't believe it's priced in. Like, a lot of people think the bull run it has started already. I don't think it's going to continue. That's my personal thesis. I think it's going to drop, consolidate for a while before, once the halving's over, we wait a little bit, and then the real run is going to begin. Literally in at least probably 6 months from now is when the real massive run will actually begin. So just be wary of that and understand the risks. And just wanted to get these on your radar, guys. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.